Welcome back, Wagoneers, to another exciting episode of the Wasted Wagons podcast. With us here we have Sean, Todd, Mike, Russ, Pat, and myself. I'm Travis, and we're here to talk about some more exciting topics. One of the big topics that we've been talking on our previous episodes was the Hogs For The Cause charity event. We did a couple of interviews leading up to it. That actually passed last weekend, and Russ, would you like to take us away and tell us how the event went for you?
Yeah, sure. It was an incredible event. I mean, it essentially started like full force Wednesdays when I started cooking stuff for it. I was doing my macarons. I don't know if I described them in full because this was my submission. But what I made was a candied bacon, maple syrup buttercream macaron. It had a chocolate bacon shell, and it was salted caramel with salted flakes on top of it. I submitted that to the baking category, and I got 17th out of like 70 something. So I was pretty happy with that. Disappointed I didn't get on stage, but one of our big highlights is our submission for mayo was a mayo crab brulee, and it got second. So we were pretty ecstatic for that. We had a great time as a team. You good? Friday was amazing. I definitely partied like I usually do. I did not stay nearly as late as I did. You could ask some of my friends that were there, Nick Harris specifically. There's lots of things I just do not remember from Friday night. I know I went to the Boar's Nest tent at one point, and they had an ice luge that was like a naked lady with like the luge parts coming out of her boobs. And I was doing who knows what, and I was just dancing and going nuts, and like I don't remember any of that. But apparently I walked away, and I'm like, it's time to go, and then I just left. So it was fantastic, amazing event.
So the macarons, right? Is that how you say it in
macaron? Macaron
in the bakery world? You know, like macaron. So it's not macaroon. It's not.
Those are two different things.
So
Mike.
A macaroon and a macaron are two different things. One's
what about a macaroni?
What about a bucatini?
Bucatini. Ooh. The biggest difference is one is like a flaky coconut cookie, and the other one is a sandwiched cookie that has some kind of buttercream or ganache in the middle.
Well, I've tried the lemon, and I've tried blueberry.
No, I haven't done blueberry yet.
It was blue or purple.
I think it was raspberry, right?
Raspberry.
I did do a raspberry. I think I did lemon raspberry.
And those were delicious. So what I'm getting at, if those were that good, I'm sure the ones you did for the hogs.
I've already had people ask to purchase and or bring them to specific events, like the ones that I made for submission.
Very nice. Cool.
And then also,
so Russell, you're always your macarons are always number one in our book. So.
That's right. So I guess we'll get to it. But I was in Disney, and they had the France section in Epcot had macaron like plates and like serving stuff that I almost bought some stuff.
I think I took a picture the last time I was there because they had like Christmas trees made of macaroons, and I think I sent it to y'all and said Russell's are better. Not that I actually tried one of theirs, but
just a standard statement at this point.
So yeah, I was there all weekend, so I got to kind of watch you guys operate from start to finish, from food prep to actually serving to breakdown for the Friday night party.
Pat was all over the place. He had his gimbal. He was watching us cook. He was doing like little promo type stuff from afar. He was interviewing everybody. You were all over the place. You were like Sonic the Hedgehog, speeding all over the place.
Yeah, we can get to my perspective later. I just want to kind of talk about from your perspective, because that was the more important part, because you were actually on the team and working, and just watching that many number of people in such, even though it was a nice size tent and space, watching that many people work in such a small, confined and pressure cooked atmosphere was impressive. Like, all the teams did a really good job of maximizing their time and space to get all the dishes done and presented and keep customers not having to wait a lot of time in line. That was very, very impressive to see.
We were very efficient this year. Like, at no point did I feel like we were ever overwhelmed, which I have in the past, to where we have a line that's like backing up and people waiting on food, or we're running out. We're literally not able to keep up with making stuff in the back because people are ordering it so fast. But that never really happened this year. We were pretty organized.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone kind of was well behaved. Everything kind of went pretty smoothly from my perspective. There may have been some things I didn't see behind the scenes because I was either not at your station because I was doing other video footage, or I just missed it. But everything that I saw from both just watching and recording looked like they went very well. Like you guys look like you have a pretty good process down of how to make everything, who's doing what, who's doing actual selling and taking of money versus prep versus other things like that. And like even by the time Friday night got done, you guys were still prepping for Saturday while still trying to do the DJ party atmosphere part, which I think went well as also.
We had a solid 9 people show up to our after party. It's not official. We just one of the people on our team, they bring like some small DJ equipment, and he was playing like Pink Pony Club like really loud, so it attracted like 9 people at one point. It was hilarious.
But he had the setup, and his energy was it was as though there were 900 people there
through the roof.
Yeah, he was 10 out of 10 on his own, just carrying the whole vibe, and it was awesome to see like the 9 patrons that were there were enjoying the hell out of themselves and all of his music.
I'm pretty sure I was pretty drunk at that point because I remember dancing in front of my tent at some point.
I wouldn't say you were. You might have been pretty drunk, but you didn't look at like you weren't like stumbling around or slurring your words too much or anything like that. So you were pretty well behaved.
The only hiccup that I remember happening, like everything was essentially flawless, is we had one of our members commit to doing. I'm forgetting the category. It's a pork puree. Sorry, they are notorious for falling asleep. I think we actually have some good video of this guy asleep.
Multiple video angles of him taking a good power nap or two.
Yeah, like with alcohol in hand and everything. But he was supposed to do pork puree, and like everybody's like, "Hey, you got
brie or pork
like,
puree?"
so like potpourri?
Pork puree.
So it's like anything and everything, as long as there's some form of pig in the dish, it's acceptable within the category. But he did not make it, so we ended up just grabbing some of our hog shots, which was just like a normal item on our menu, and it got like 50 something. Like we weren't expecting to place or anything. But that's the only hiccup that I can remember.
So you get through Friday, and I think I talked to both you and Scott, and you guys were like, yeah, we sold out of a good amount of stuff Friday, which is always awesome that it sucks that, you ran out of something, but it's good that you were selling so much of it that you ran out, and you were getting ready for Saturday, and Saturday rolls around and you were kind of back at it full force. Were there any items that you did not have on Saturday's menu that were on Friday?
So I want to say we had everything from Friday on Saturday plus some, because I think we had hog shots both days. I think we had the spring rolls both days. The banana pudding might have only been a Saturday item.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back look. I honestly don't remember because Friday, I didn't work too much Friday. Like, I just drank a lot. Honestly.
You admitted that to me. It's like, I'm not really doing a whole lot today. I'm just kind of hanging out, and if they need something, sure, but I'm not really doing too much.
Yeah, Saturday I was like manning. I was doing some of the food prep stuff and I was in charge of spring rolls, and we did some cheese fries. Were only Saturday. It was cheese fries with queso and pulled pork on top of them.
Pat, did you have any of his macarons?
I did sample a macaron on Friday. It was excellent. It was the best version of macarons he's done.
Really?
By far. And the pistachio and raspberry ones were incredible. This is, as it should have been, was way more decadent and way more elaborate. And it was that much better when tasting it.
Russ, don't shy away from bringing a sample for the
Look,
wasted wagon.
Like I said, there's multiple people asking for these. I'm actually going to be making some on Saturday, but without the bacon for a crawfish boil. So I'll make a couple extra to bring for next time.
Have you thought about like selling them and doing like a business out of it?
So yes, and I kind of already have. I've sold some before, but I'm not like advertising at this point.
You selling them like some certain kids that were selling cards out front of the house
Yeah,
today?
I'm just going door to door. You want some macarons?
I think a good advertisement would be Russell sitting in this hot tub with an apron on, holding out a tray of macarons.
We should 1,000% put them on the Wasted Wagons storefront, and just like there's stickers, T-shirts, koozies. Bam! You can pre-order macarons, like
Bacon, canned-dyed macarons, or whatever. But what the fuck?
with a disclaimer, like, hey, it's a week or two from order to completion, just to give my guys some time. But it should definitely be an item that's on the website for the store.
Disclaimer: not filled with Russell's jizz.
I'll start.
Unless
you want some.
That's extra. That's extra.
I'll have to start working on like an actual official
an adder.
name that I'm good with. I don't know if I'm good with just Russell's macarons.
Sure. But Saturday rolled around. You guys got out there around like 9 o'clock ish.
So,
Well, you specifically.
Scott was in charge of Whole Hog, so he got there like 8 o'clock.
How much sleep did you get between Friday and Saturday?
Actually, a decent bit. So I went home early on Friday, like around 1-ish, a little bit after 1.
1-ish.
That's early.
I usually stay up till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Okay.
I left
so early, 1 a.m.-ish.
Yeah.
I
Very
left
early.
at maybe 12:15, and I was about to sneak out, and you were coming back to the tent as I was giving a peace out. So I was like, "Yep, see you later." And it was like 12:15. You said you left maybe within an hour of me.
So that's when I walked back to the tent and I ran into Mr. Kevin, one of my coworkers. But that's when I was really drunk, dancing in front of the tent.
Oh yeah, so I missed that. Okay, so you get through.
But I didn't get Saturday. I didn't get there until 11 o'clock.
Okay,
So I had good sleep, and I took Advil multiple times. Like I wasn't super hungover, so I was functional.
got it. And Saturday was kind of more the same. The crowd on Saturday was way bigger, a lot more people. The weather was still overcast and windy, but it was not hot. So that was awesome that you weren't just sweating all day out there in the sun. But you get to the event. You guys sold out, I think, of a bunch of stuff again as well.
We probably got close to, like, we sold out of our French fries because, I mean, we essentially just stopped making them. We had plenty pulled pork left for all of our pulled pork dishes. So the spring rolls, like, we could have made more. The pudding we didn't sell out of because we had somebody take the rest home in a giant, like, 5-gallon vat. The hog shots, I think we got rid of all those. We essentially sold out everything else.
Okay. And from talking to people, what do you think was the best tasting or selling item on your menu?
It's by far the spring roll. It's what we sell the most every year. It's what we're the most comfortable with making. It's just delicious. It's really simple. It's essentially like some slaw, some pulled pork, and some egg wrapper, like spring roll stuff. And we do it in like a square and then cut it to 2 triangles. And then it's a simple sauce. It's essentially just mayo, sriracha, and honey, and it's delicious. It's so good.
So what did y'all have Friday for the people that get all up in arms about having it during Lent on a Friday? It's like,
so it's funny you asked that because we talked about that when we were discussing our menu, months before.
I'm asking that because the news even was talking about this, and it's like every year it's during Lent, and people, it's like, how can you have a meat festival on Friday during Lent? And it's like,
well, I think one of the MCs was actually making jokes about that the Catholic religion is excusing you today.
It's for a good cause.
Yeah.
They said the Pope called and said it was okay.
We typically always have some kind of fried rice, and we did this year. We served it with the spring rolls, but we typically have pork in it, or we'll do a dish specifically with the pork in it, and we didn't do that this year. So if somebody wanted to order fried rice by itself, they could.
Yeah.
Nobody did. I mean, we kind of came to the conclusion, like, if you're paying $75 to come to a barbecue, like, meat festival, you're not going to not eat meat. So we didn't even attempt to have anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would say I didn't see a ton of teams that had a meatless item on their menu. They all kind of just understood, like, listen, this is a charity event. Yes, it falls on a Lenten Friday, but if you're here to experience this and enjoy it, then you've resigned to you're gonna eat meat, or just make a donation and don't show up. It's
Correct.
There are options if you don't want to, or just don't eat at all.
So speaking of donations, we raised the most money that we have ever raised this year. We typically, through prior to the event donations and through sales, we hit around 30,000 for our team. We got like around 55,000 this year. We got like a nice little picture. Once you hit the 50,000 mark, you kind of get recognized, and we got called up, not on stage, but acknowledged at the end during the awards and
I
stuff.
heard the event cracked like $5.25 million or something like that. That's
It's
insane.
the most. I know last year we had the goal of hitting 5 million, and we did like 4.2, but we got to 5.25 this year.
That's awesome.
There were definitely some teams that I forget the team that won overall for the terms of the donation amount.
House of Hogs.
Yes, $720 something million,
It was
$725,000.
It was ridiculous.
They did incredible. There was a couple teams that were 500,000, 250, 300-ish thousand, like that.
There was a brand new team that hit over 100. It might have even been over 250. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't
think so.
remember their name, but like it was such a complete surprise.
Yeah, like they got a very cool shout out from the organizers for that, a brand new team coming in first year and cracking that amount. So that was really cool to see. That was right before the awards started, or some of the awards started. they made a recognition for all the teams and what they kind of raised, and like the top fundraising teams got their time to shine, which was really awesome. That's a huge number.
Yeah, I mean, what? There was like 100 teams out there.
93.
It was 93.
93,
I
I
want to
think
say
was the official
it was between 70 and 90. I don't remember.
Because I was going to say
exact.
that if yours coming in 17 out of that many, it's like, how do the judges even figure that out?
Well,
you know,
I don't know that process.
Let me ask you this: if you're on a team, do you get to go in for free? Or you still have to pay your dues to get in.
I mean, I pay my dues for my team, so for which I think you can charge whatever you want as a team. But like, for instance, my dues this year were $300. I think they were actually $250
and that
last
includes
year.
your entrance.
it's like
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like
have
being
to pay for
a
entry.
like being on a Mardi Gras crew. It's like
Pretty much,
your
yeah.
y'all's team's fees pay for a lot of the stuff you have
Correct.
to bring. Yeah,
Correct.
pay for y'all's supplies.
Because as a team, you get like 20 wristbands to give out, and then if you want to purchase more for other members of the team, you can.
Very cool. Now, Pat, I know you had the microphone on and you had like a GoPro kind of thing on. What kind of footage were you able to get?
I got some incredible footage. I didn't do as many interviews of patrons post trying food because I decided to just focus more on the teams and all their work that they do to prep for the event and during the event and post event party and getting ready for the next day and then the award ceremony. So I wanted to do a little bit more interviewing of individual patrons, but the way the day was working, it was just better and easier for me to walk up to as many booths or tents as possible to talk to those people. And that was actually a ton of fun. A couple of them, like most people, come up and they see you with your camera and like a whole setup, and they're like, "Hey, come over here, come try this." So I sampled a lot of food for free, and I'm like, "Hey, I'll let you know I'm not a judge. I'm just recording video for my podcast and for something for the event, but not official." So I got to go into behind the scenes to a lot of stations, watch them prep their food, shoot some B-roll video of them doing all that, do a couple quick 20-second hits with team members talking about what they were doing, how the event was going. Hopefully within a month or so, that'll be done professionally for everyone to view. But I definitely tried to obviously highlight Russell's team. And also let me give a shout out to Famous on Instaham and Samantha and David for the hospitality, for hosting me, having me there, getting me into the event as a quote unquote part of their team, and all the things that they let me do and see and record behind the scenes that I think was really, really cool just to experience and do all of that.
And like you said, the disclaimer kind of thing to people, you didn't get any crap from anybody saying like you can't be recording in here like this, or it's like you're not official media, you're not walking around with a lanyard on or something.
It was so laid back. People were just enjoying the moment and what the event was for. So they wanted to, a couple of people came up to me like, "Hey, you have a camera? Like, come over here, come do this." And they were inviting me. And I didn't necessarily want to even get as deep into the weeds of their setup as I did, but they were just like, "Hey, come back here. Come here. Let me present some of our food in front of you so your camera can take a picture or video of it so we can give a shout out." One guy was trying to raise money for his raffle. So we did like a 20-second like live hit for his team for the raffle because they were trying to raise some more extra funds for that. So it was really cool just to be in the space and maybe get a little more access than most patrons would to go behind the scenes and do stuff, and really to showcase and highlight them. I got so much video from Russell's team and for Famous on Instagram and Mr. Pigglesworth, obviously because I know people on those teams, but a lot of, I'd say more than almost every team that I went up to and spoke to invited me back behind their scenes a little bit, or let me talk to someone on the team to kind of just do a highlight thing of the event, not even so much just their team, because they would just enjoy being out there, and it's for such a good cause that they wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, it's not like you're invading their business or something like that, or you know, acting like you're going to do something weird with the footage or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I was, behind the scenes, like getting trade secrets
like
about
stealing their recipes.
or
or
their
something.
song like that. So they were pretty cool. And yes, I was not official media credentialed or anything like that. I wore a Wasted Wagons polo both days.
Right.
I looked the part, but I did not have the official credential. Right. Now, honestly, I'm going to apply for that next year to be more of the, like maybe do an official media thing, to at least maybe recognized so that I can do more, hopefully. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know the process, but I'm definitely going to look into that to bring the more equipment, hopefully, and do even more than I did this year. But this year, for my first time ever being on that side of the fence, quote unquote, of being more like on a, not with a team, but not a general patron, and doing things like that was incredible.
But I mean, you got in on a team, like you were almost like if you had to say like, oh, I'm on their team or something, like you were
No.
given one of those wristbands or.
Famous on Instagram gave me a wristband, like a team member wristband, but I just kind of walked around and people were like, hey, you can come work here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you were hassled or something, you'd be like, well, I'm filming my team or something like that.
So I flat out told people, I'm like, I'm not associated with a team as a member, but I'm doing video content for Famous on Instagram and Pork Chop Atulis. And
these teams could hire a videographer or something.
Sure. And one team did, and their media guy was very nice and accommodating to give me some insight and some access to things that he was working on. But most everyone who asked me, not that they asked like, hey, what are you doing back here? Why are you back here? It was more of like, oh, are you with a team? Or I'm like, I'm with these two teams in theory, but I'm also just shooting video for the event itself to make a video out of that. And
I'm with a very famous podcast. Just that's all you need to know.
Very famous.
I believe you were handing out koozies all day
Small
as
time
well.
pod.
Yeah. That was the only mistake that I made, was not having enough swag to give out, because it went so fast and I guess I never really thought that I would give some koozies to Russell's team and to Sam's team and a random friend here that I saw. But the amount of people that came up to me and just that saw a koozie in my hand, like, hey, can I have a koozie? And I'm like, yes, but no. But if you're going to give me if you're going to take a koozie, I need something from you in return. And I've explained to them that we have a podcast that highlights and features local people or businesses, and that we're trying to grow this thing out. So that's why I'm here recording all of this. The QR code on the back, you scan it goes to our link tree, and they thought that was a really cool idea. And I saw nothing else like that at the event. So yeah, I could have ordered 4 times the number of koozies that I had and brought, and I would have easily sold out of that given that out on just Friday. Same thing with the stickers. I bought a bunch of stickers. I gave out almost all of those for the most part. I could have had 100 of each, and it would have been gone even on Friday. So for next year, I definitely know better, and we'll probably stock up a bit on that.
I mean, my big, Todd and I attended on Friday night, and I think my big takeaway, we went to, what was it? Was the German,
I can't remember the name of it.
Porktoberfest?
Hogtoberfest.
Yeah, Porktoberfest. So
Porktoberfest, yeah.
That real quick, that's the team I want to give a shout out to. They were the most accommodating, other than the team next to Sam and David that were in the red that had the boiled peanuts.
They had the crawfish boiled peanuts.
Crawfish
Those things were incredible.
Yeah, but Porktoberfest, those guys, their media guy, Aaron, rolled out their carpet for me. He actually said like, hey, here's my link tree or my QR code, scan it, message me, and I will get you a bunch of audio or video or whatever you might want for social media to help you out, and vice versa, exchange some stuff with me. So just real quick before you get going, yeah, shout out to Porktoberfest and Aaron and those guys, because they were incredible. And I interviewed their head pitmaster, and they were just the most welcoming group outside of, obviously Russell and Sam.
So they actually had a beer stein holding contest, and the idea of it was if you held it for 5 minutes, they would give you a free beer. So, but the guy working the behind or running the contest was so annihilated drunk that Todd and I are doing it. We hit our 5 minutes, we put it down, and he's, oh yeah, I got to get y'all a beer. And then he would walk away, then he would come back, and he's like, oh, nobody got y'all a beer yet? And then they had some young kid next to him that was probably not old enough to serve alcohol. And he's like, yeah, guys, he's like ridiculously drunk right now. And then finally another guy comes up with 2 cans of beer, and he's like, here you go. But it was good.
What kind of beer was it?
I got a cane break, and Todd had
I had Urban South Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it was they gave us some decent
Fair
beers.
enough, yeah.
But yeah, that was my big takeaway, and getting to see Russ and trying some food at his tent. Overall a good time. I guess my big complaint about Hogs for the Cause, and I get that it's a charity event, but correct me if I'm wrong. I probably went about 10 years ago when it was at City Park. Did they not used to give out tickets, as far as when you bought your entry? They used to give out tickets that would give you a sample of somebody's food with the ticket?
As far as purchasing tickets to go use at booths?
Yes.
I want to say that was a thing, but I don't remember for sure.
Probably when it was a lot smaller.
Yeah, because I think that's what the way they used to do it. So I guess I kind of went in with that idea, like, okay, I'm buying my ticket $75, and then I'm gonna get some tickets to go give to booths to sample some food. But everything was like kind of pay your separate way. So I mean, you could easily drop a couple $100 in there, based upon the ticket and then the amount of food you buy.
You could drop just 200 in food and beer if you really wanted to like sample.
Now, I was fortunate. I didn't pay anything for beer because Russell gave me one right off the bat when we went in there. That we won one from Porktoberfest. Then Jessica's brother knew a guy that worked. I can't remember the name of the booth that was across. It was like almost right across from Porktoberfest.
Pork Hub.
Pork Hub, yeah. And he gave us a bunch of Miller Lights and Miller Ponies, High Life Ponies. So I didn't pay anything for alcohol at all. And the food that I tried there was very good. And it was a good time. Several different stages playing music. I was laughing a little bit earlier because Patrick had the GoPro, and I was like, I really wish he would have gotten this drunk bastard that that was walking out with us. I mean, this dude was doing one of these numbers.
For the audio audience, I will dictate what Todd's doing. He's like doing a drunken stomp and started across a stage.
This is charades.
Is that the guy who ended up passing out by the urinals? And the crazy part is, so we go right before we're exiting the gate. We all use the bathroom one more time before loading the cars, and this guy was sitting on like the tire hubs of somebody's trailer, and like you could see he was just kind of like bobbing back and forth. Came out from the bathroom, and he's laying on the ground just like passed out. And on my way home, there was an ambulance coming heading that way, and I was wondering if it was picking him up because he was, annihilated.
I was kind of worried about him laying on his back like that in case he vomited in his mouth,
Would have choked, yeah.
We had that at the fair. We had a lady walk out, thankfully not on the grounds, but she was on the median on Transcontinental and like laid back, and people were wondering like, is she okay? And then like eventually like a cop came and picked her up. So, like she like passed out in between Transcontinental. I was like, okay.
I get that you can easily do it, but at a certain point, like I wouldn't want all those people looking at me,
But yeah, people were like the corner of the yard. It was like, yeah, she's right over there, and you could see her 2 feet in the air.
Pat was able to get somebody on awards, or during the awards ceremony. There was somebody that was either insanely drunk or high, or I have no idea what this dude was doing.
He was in his own little world. He was towards the back of the crowd at the awards time, and he was just you ever see these, like, let's just be real, like drug addicts or addicts that are on the street corner and like they're talking to themselves and they're dancing or they're making all kind of like gestures and gyrations, and you kind of just start staring at them and looking like
gas station at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
They're tweaking.
Yeah, that's exactly how this guy looked. Maybe a little bit more civil. But he dropped a couple curse words and stuff like that along with his dancing. So it was a sight to see for a good couple minutes that I remember of it.
What was great was I think at one point he realized we were watching him. So he like took note of that. And then he started doing these like crazy like growls and howls. Like I think Pat got that on video. And
yes.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah,
again.
Sure did. He will be in the highlight video somewhere, somehow. There's no getting out of that for him.
Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.
But I think overall, obviously, the amount of money they raised, the event was a huge success. I would rate my time and the work that I was doing both days as a success in terms of the amount of really cool content I got to shoot and record and be a part of and see. It was incredible. But shout out to all the teams that put on the event and that compete and make the event what it was, because I think it was a success from start to finish. The award ceremony was my only gripe in that it started about maybe an hour late, and it kind of drug on a little bit.
It took forever. It always takes a while.
Sure.
It started way late. Like I was so ready to go, and then we were all concerned about Sunday. There was supposed to be really bad weather coming.
Oh right.
So we decided that we were going to pick up completely Saturday night. And everybody had already left at that point. There was only like a couple of us picking up.
Yeah, it didn't get rain out here until at least like 2 a.m. or something like that.
So it rained over the night.
Or no, it was the next day even. It was like 10 a.m. or something. It rained a good bit
the next day, but it wasn't as bad, in my opinion, as we thought it was going to be. But we got everything done. I think we finished up around like 12:30 Saturday night.
All right. Moving on from Hogs for the Cause, Todd had a pretty special event planned yesterday, and I wanted to kind of walk through the whole process of setting up a surprise 40th birthday party for his wife Jessica, and how all that unfolded.
Well, I mean, first off, I like partaking in parties, but I don't really like throwing them. And throwing surprise parties it's not my thing. So I set up the group on Facebook, and I'm not really a fan of doing either. I invited everybody, but I can tell you, Jessica's birthday was Monday, so last weekend we went several places, and I could tell she was thinking something was happening last weekend. So the final one was when we went to Ground Patty for Carson's birthday lunch with my mom, and she's probably thinking when we're driving there, well, Ground Patty's got that big little outdoor area. There's gonna be a bunch of people waiting. It's gonna be a surprise party. Then when we sat down, I could see it on her face, like she was like crushed, and I felt bad because I'm like, I knew it was coming next weekend, but she obviously didn't know that, so I could see she was upset. And then it's been in the making for like a month. I mean, I probably created that group about a month ago, and having to hold it in and not let it slip is pretty tough. I mean, Travis just threw a surprise party for Heather a couple months ago. I don't like doing it. It's hard keeping it in. I was afraid I was going to mess it up. Even when we're sitting, I brought her to the party from Mass, and the whole time there, I'm like, we were planning on going back to the house and getting Texas toast to bring to the party. But then if we did that, she was going to see everybody's cars, because our house is, their house, or where it was at, is right on the way to ours. If it would have took a different route, she would have known something was up. So it's like, man, I'm screwed no matter what. So Jessica's mom texted me while I was on the way there, and she's like, if you think she already knows, just nix the Texas toast. I was like, fuck it. So I just drove straight down Camper, and everybody's car's there, and I'm turning on Camper and pulling in a parking spot, and she already knows, like, as I'm pulling in the spot. So I mean, I guess overall, it was difficult keeping it in. I guess I'm proud that she didn't know up until the day of, but obviously when she walked in, there was no like big surprise that she wasn't shocked when everybody said surprise, because she
pissed at you all week.
Oh yeah, she was
getting that side eye all week.
Yeah, pretty much. I think she let it go maybe after like Monday or Tuesday, but yeah, she was expecting something last weekend.
So I've been on both sides of that, so I know exactly how you feel.
But overall, I mean, I was impressed with the turnout. We had a nice crowd. I really thank Boogie and Barbara for buying all the food and making it for the party. I know Travis and Heather did some behind the scenes contributions as well. I think my mom might have contributed a little bit as well. So, and again, it's tough for me because like it's hard. I can't keep going back and forth to my in-laws' house and bringing shit without her knowing. So, I felt like kind of useless in a sense that I basically bought the beer and that was it. So I had to Venmo my in-laws money for everything that they contributed to the surprise party.
Now, one of the things that when y'all were on your way to church, and then Boogie was saying that he was worried that Jessica knew when y'all were heading to church, because as y'all were heading to church, Mr. Gene decided to walk right in front of y'all's car. And cross the street into the house. And did Jessica know at that point, or did she just figure?
Yeah, she did. I can tell. So he crosses the street first, and I'm like, and I'm trying to play it off like, oh man, he's going over there like super early, because it was originally just supposed to be me coming from church, bringing Jessica to the party. Well, then we usually do Friday night dinners with my in-laws every Friday night, and so my mother-in-law was trying to do something Friday too, and everybody's like, oh no, we can't make it Friday. So she just decides to throw out there, well, how about tomorrow? Can everybody come tomorrow? So she's trying to think, if Jessica thinks she's coming to dinner tomorrow, it's throwing her off. And that's where the Texas toast came into play. So she bought the Texas toast for it. So we see Mr. Gene crossing the street, and that's Jessica's grandmother's husband.
They live across the street?
No, he parked I think further down and was coming across the street, but it was like 30 minutes earlier than everybody was supposed to be there. And then, so he crosses, and I'm trying to throw her off like, oh man, he's getting there super early. And then she looks to the left and she sees her cousin Kaylin's husband there too. And she's like, oh look, Dante's there too. And then I can see on her face, like she figured it out like right then and there. I was like, fuck. So I texted Barbara on the way to the church and was like, I think she just figured it out. And that's when Barbara said, oh, well, if you think she knows, just don't go bothering about the toast.
We wasted the good surprise on you, Gene.
So obviously I couldn't make it because I had to work on Saturday at the French Quarter Fest like that. What was the food spread like? Did you have cake? What kind of cake did you have? Give me some details.
Well, we had sliders and we had grilled chicken, several other side dishes. Like Jessica's friend from work came and she baked a bunch. You remember Kristen from the she came with us to the
Seawolves game.
Seawolves game.
Oh,
She baked a bunch of stuff like dipped Oreos and
Peanut butter balls.
She had some kind of mint chocolate chip cookies
Yeah.
that were freaking phenomenal.
She made the peanut butter balls, right?
Yeah.
and Jessica's cousin Jean's wife Lexi makes an amazing pasta salad. So we had a bunch of sides there.
And had some fucking potato salad and some pork and beans.
No, that fucking pasta salad was amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Me and Todd we had 4 fucking bowls of that.
I have 4 fucking bowls of that shit, bro. The cake was from the
Creations.
creative cakes.
Yeah.
And it was
That
it was a
an
pretty
enormous cake.
it was a pretty cake, but it was very, very dry. I wasn't impressed with it.
Let me just say, I went to daddy-daughter dance for 2.5 hours, and I came back after, and the cake looked like it had barely been touched. Like, did y'all cut it? There was like a sliver corner missing off the thing. It was like enough cake to feed an army for a week.
And I bought 2 cases of Modelo and 2 cases of Michelob Ultra, and it didn't seem like any of it got touched. I mean, I know we were drinking it, but I don't know if anybody else did. So I still have plenty of it. So y'all helping yourselves do it now.
Modelo, if you're listening, we could use some sponsors.
thank you for your service on the Modelos. I will enjoy them tonight.
But
There's
you know,
another
about
one
it.
right there.
just to chime in on that, like planning a surprise party is definitely it seems like a fun idea at first, but then there's so many moving parts, and then like the day of it becomes very stressful. Even the days leading up to it.
I was ready for it to be over. I was just
How many times on the Facebook thing when you as the admin, you go in there and it has your wife's name and it says invite, and you have to keep saying, "Don't hit the button, don't do that."
Yeah.
And like, what is this? I got invited to.
Todd actually got hit with another curveball the morning of, because I'm outside cutting grass, and then Heather comes home from the gym, and then she was like, yeah, Jessica was running me through her daily, her what she was gonna do this day, and then she said that Grayson had cheer tryouts from 3 to 6. So then I text Todd. I was like, "Hey Todd, did you know that Grayson had cheer tryouts from 3 to 6?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "That's news to me." So then I was like, "Okay, well that's another curveball you got to work through."
Yeah, so Grayson ended up missing the surprise. But I 2 or 3 times during the week, I was like, my plan was we're going to 4 o'clock mass and we're just going straight thereafter. So I told Grayson, "Look, you're going to 4 o'clock mass. I don't want to hear any complaining." And Grayson's full of sarcasm, so she's like, "Oh yeah, okay, bud." But I told her that like 2 or 3 times during the week, and not once did she mention, "Oh, I have cheer tryouts on Saturday." So when Travis told me that, I was really kind of pissed, because I was like, she's gonna miss the surprise. And then Grayson's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna be done by 5 o'clock anyway, so I'll be there." And then I was like, "Really? I mean, he just told me it's 3 to 6," and she's like, "Yeah, but it'll be over by 5." But yeah, she missed it, but she ended up coming later. Not that the surprise was that big anyway, because Jessica figured it out, but on the way there.
No, but look, I think you did a good job. I think the most important thing about any of those parties is who shows up and the people that were there. And she did have a nice crowd. Newman came in from the North Shore. Mike ended up being able to make it after work. Jamie came after Alex's tournament. So it was a nice little turnout. And Sean made 2 appearances there. So there was.
I got extremely full, and then went to a dance for 2.5 hours where there was no food and drink, and then came back and ate again and drank again.
Well, so again, Todd, I think you did a really good job with it. I think the party was a success. I think we all had a good time. I'm not drinking today because I had quite a few drinks last night.
I think the most important part of it was that Jessica had a good time. I could tell she did.
So moving on from that, we're gonna, Sean mentioned daddy-daughter dance, and I think this is a good segue to kind of start. You can describe your experience, but I want to kind of talk about daddy-daughter dances in general. But go ahead and tell us, your experience last night.
Sounds like it's leading into what grinds my gears.
Yeah, not really a gear grinder, but
No, I mean, it was my daughter's school's first time doing one, and she's already in 5th grade, so first time in 6 years they're finally doing one. And no theme. It was just like dressy casual, show up and have a dance. And of course, there was no cupcakes, cookies, stuff like that for the, refreshments, soft drinks. They didn't have any alcohol. And I mean, it's as described. It's basically a bunch of dads standing around watching girls dance and run around with their friends, and 1,000 balloons getting hit in the air and popped, and I mean, they had a couple of slow dances, and that's about all that most of the dads went out on the dance floor for.
I think the dads kind of generally feel weird if they're doing any other kind of dance. Like it's kind of like, okay, slow dance with your own daughter, but then like if they play fast paced music, I mean, I'm just thinking about myself and like, oh, I'm not getting on the dance floor and getting crazy with a bunch of little girls on the floor
without any booze in us, especially. I mean, you have the one or two dads that's like, oh, crazy wild dad, and he's out there like doing the running man and trying to show off, and it's like, but he's not doing it the whole time,
Actually, a fellow that we went to grammar school with goes to St. Anne's and does that, and he definitely looks like a total creep on the floor. But look, my opinion on daddy-daughter dances is I get kind of guilt tripped to going every year, and sometimes Scarlett will originally say like, no, I don't really want to go, but then when she finds out all of her friends are going, she ends up wanting to go. And it's like Sean said, it's basically once you walk in the door, you take a picture, and then from then on, it's they run off with their friends, and you're left kind of standing there with your thumb in your ass.
I mean, it was a cool event because I know most of the dads there, and it was, we got to cut up and, mess with each other and, just anything. But, I mean, enough for the kids to do. I mean, I'm sitting here wearing a daddy bracelet that she made for me last night and made like 5 of her own.
Very nice.
Thank you.
The footballs are a nice touch.
Yeah. She's like, they have footballs. I'm going to make you a bracelet. I'm like, go knock yourself out, whatever, And I mean, she walked out of there and had a great time. So I was like, okay. Because when I first told her about it, I said, hey, your school's doing a daddy-daughter dance in April. She's like, ew, I'm not dancing with you. I was like,
we're not doing the lambada. I mean.
Yeah. It's like, we're not dancing a frickin' get your roll on. It's like, come on.
Yeah, and the one of the things they don't do over there, daddy-daughter dances, is serve beer. I guess because it's kids involved and it's at a Catholic
it's in the school cafeteria. So I mean, it's like it was 6:30 to 9. We didn't get there until 7. It's like how if you had let a dad stand there with a beer or two in his hand, it's like how drunk are they going to get?
Was it a lock-in?
No,
Sean had quite a few before he left, though.
So did anybody bring a flask?
Possibly. I mean. No, at the men's club, we have our own fridge in the back, and it's like everybody's like, hey, you sneak in the bag, and it's like we know where the beer is. I mean, we do that during open house. We do it during like back to school expo. Just bring a nice koozie like this, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's just a Diet Coke.
Perhaps they should come up with like a system of like you can get 2 beer tickets or something. That way you're not going to get
like
annihilated.
Limit, yeah.
But yeah, like I know you said you're able to kind of find people to talk with and cut up with people that you've made friends with through the men's club and whatnot. But I'm not a member of the men's club. I don't really have that many friends there, so it ends up being a pretty boring time for me.
And I mean, I don't know what they do at St. Anne, but a couple of groups of the dads even went out. Like one of them even got a party bus with like they saw pictures of like that many dads with like maybe like 6, 7, 8 girls, and they all went to Zia's beforehand, and they're all drinking fake champagne and stuff. And
yeah, no, my thing is I'll take Scarlett to get ice cream after, and that's about it. But anyway,
why aren't you a member of your men's club?
Because I just don't
answer. I don't want to be that bad of a teammate to you. I know we know you don't have to get into it.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, you know the president very, very well.
That's true.
Do they have a cool name like Steam?
No.
Okay. That's why.
All right, so kind of moving on from daddy-daughter dances and Jessica's surprise party, tying into Jessica's surprise party, she for lunch today, she actually chose my mom likes to take everybody out for their own birthday lunch. It includes wives, kids, her children, and Jessica chose the new place on Vets that used to be Halima Car Wash, and now it's a Roomba.
Oh, it was Radio Shack.
Mm-hmm. It was, I think the daiquiri shop used to be Radio Shack, if I'm not mistaken, and the car wash is now Roomba. But so we ate there today, and Todd, do you want to say what your thoughts were on it?
Initially, I was kind of thrown off because first off, they bring the glasses of water out, and one of them has lipstick stain on it, which of course is an instant turnoff.
Comes with a prize.
And and if you know my mom, I mean, my mom doesn't really listen to this podcast, but she tends to complain about a lot. when she goes to restaurants. Like, I'm talking almost once she sits down, she's complaining about something.
She's looking for something.
She's your typical Italian woman. No offense, Jamie. So my mom is like had her heart set on these crawfish rangoons that they have on the appetizer menu. So she orders those first, and she orders, of course, my mom has to order like 2 or 3 different appetizers. So she orders 2 crawfish rangoons, and he comes back and says they don't have them. So she's like, oh, you know, that's what I had my heart set on. I really wanted to try that. So didn't start off great because they didn't have the crawfish rangoon appetizers, and I had a nice lipstick stain on the water glass. But overall, I mean, the atmosphere of the place is really cool. The artwork that's drawn all over the walls really cool. They play the whole island vibe music the whole time you're in there. And I'm gonna say the coconut shrimp appetizer we got was amazing. I ended up getting a tuna burger, which was actually, I thought it was gonna be like a flat tuna steak, but it was actually like ground up tuna, and it was really good. So the food over there was really good. And Travis even pointed this out. The whole bar area is really cool, and it opens up to the outside. So it would probably be a good place to hang out on like a date night. Just walk up to the bar on the outside and sit and chill there and have a few drinks. So overall, I mean, the food was great. The atmosphere is great. Aside from the few little hiccups with the lipstick stain and the no crawfish rangoon appetizers, it was a really good place.
Is it kind of like the Rum House in New Orleans?
I've never been, but it probably is.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. I think they have a whole menu devoted to drinks, and a lot of them are rum drinks. So, I mean, I'm not really like a big mixed, like fruity drink type of guy, but I'd be willing to try it and just going one night and sitting at the bar and trying one.
What's the theme of the place? Is it Caribbean food?
It's called what was that? The island something island cuisine. I can't remember what they said on the side of the bus, but
it is cool. Like the inside, you'll have like it has kind of like almost like a tree setting. Like the ceilings will look like trees, and then they have like some of the seats look like swings, and they have like little monkeys hanging from the trees. It's a really cool setting on the inside, and they do have a very good drink selection. We didn't drink today because we were pretty hungover from yesterday. But the food, I ended up getting coconut crusted chicken tacos, and they were very good, delicious. Same kind of thing Todd said to lead off, though. Like outside of not having the appetizer and the lipstick, I order a Diet Coke, and then you can see when he puts the thing down, it looks like tan water. And like I take a sip, and it's like all carbonated water, and I had to send it back. And I was like, "Look, man, this doesn't even taste. This just tastes like carbonated water." And he brought me another one, no big deal. But
so it's island inspired cuisine
And rum bar.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I'm glad that y'all went and you're giving it.
Is it Rumba? We all keep saying Roomba, but that's a friggin' vacuum cleaner.
yeah, I don't know if it's Roomba or Rumba. But
I'd imagine it's probably
It is Roomba? Okay, that's what
I was going to say. I'd imagine it's rumba because of all the rum drinks, but
I've heard it called Roomba.
I think it's Roomba.
But like Todd said, Heather and I had a talk after. I'm like, yeah, this would be a good place to just kind of go on a Friday night and just walk right up outside to the bar and just sit and have drinks. Don't even have to order food, even though the food was delicious. So.
Can we get a heart rating?
From a food and atmosphere standpoint, I mean, like I would say a 4.7 out of 5.
Nice.
yeah, probably 4.7,
Definitely
4.8.
gonna try it.
Yeah, it's once you get over those hiccups of an appetizer not being there and dirty glasses and carbonated water.
Look, they just opened.
Yeah,
up.
they've
So
been-
it's
still
the
relatively
benefit of
new.
the fact.
But like food was delicious. Like I would have a hard time getting something different based upon how good my food was. Like if I go back, I was like, oh, I kind of want to lose again so it was sriracha chicken that was coconut crusted, and it was freaking delicious.
Coconut crusted like a macaroon.
Not a macaron.
Not a macaron.
Kind of along the same lines. I'm going to ask. I don't think anyone has, but has anyone been to Crazy Johnny's yet, or is anyone planning to go now that they're open?
I have not been.
I'll
but
plan to go, yeah.
I'd definitely like to go.
So I had the option. So I had a lunch date with the wife, and we had the option. We were driving that way, and we were undecided. It was either going to be Crazy Johnny's or Sushi Nami, and we ended up going to Sushi Nami. But the next time we go out, it's going to be.
Is that the one on airline?
No, it's
It's where Mellow Mushroom used to be.
Mellow
Oh,
Mushroom,
yeah.
Causeway and Veterans. Fantastic place, by the way.
Is that sushi nami or sushi masa?
No, sushi nami.
Sushi nami. Okay.
Masa's further down Vets.
Okay.
Is that the one that opened up right over by Jason's Deli?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
that
I
was-
have eaten there.
I'd
and it
like to
was
go there.
Subpar.
Really?
Jason's Deli.
Jason's Deli. Right, but yeah, look again. We came back from Roomba. We given good reviews. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Real cool atmosphere, real delicious food. Now, before all this weekend, Russell was sending us some pictures while we were at work from his Disney trip. So, Russ, tell us a little bit about your recent trip to Disney World.
First of all,
I tried not to be an asshat and
Jerk.
send too many pictures.
you were better about it than Todd was.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was
when
expecting
he-
more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was conscious. Like, there's a couple times I had something loaded up. I'm like, nah, maybe I shouldn't send this.
You should have sent it.
I just wanted y'all to know how delicious the beer and food was.
Disney was incredible. It was let's call it an accelerated trip. Since Hogs was the previous weekend, my family members were already up there, and I went and met them on Monday. So I flew up Monday morning around. I think I got to the airport around 4:30. My flight was for like 5:20. I landed, and I literally went straight to the park. I didn't even go to the place we were staying.
Yeah.
And it was actually cool. I flew Spirit. I've never flown Spirit before. It's not the best of airlines, but I didn't have anything to carry on. It was really easy. And then, the next 4 days was just straight. I went Magic Kingdom on Monday. We went to Animal Kingdom Tuesday, then Epcot, then Hollywood Studios. And it was a fantastic trip. We had 14 of us there. I thought it was going to be an issue.
Damn.
2 of the people were in the motorized wheelchairs. And that actually helped because the previous years they have not been in those.
Haven't we had to talk about that before?
Yes, we have.
They were good. They were real good. But
Russell was holding up the bus lines.
we drove every day. We stayed off grounds in an Airbnb.
So you weren't holding up the bus.
Yeah, no. It was great. But Animal Kingdom was super fun. And it's funny enough. Usually that is the most crowded park because it's the most kid friendly. It's where all like the characters are and it's where the castle is. That was the lightest amount of crowd that I had all day. By the end of the trip, it was insanely packed. It was like Flower Fest, which I think is at Epcot. But Epcot was so crowded, it felt like it was Wine and Food Fest. It was ridiculous.
Really?
It was really tough getting through Epcot.
Because usually it's like Animal Kingdom and Epcot are usually the kind of ones you can move a little freer around.
You said it was the Garden Festival that was going on?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was easy in the beginning, like the first half of the day. But by the second half, because we went and did the hoop-de-doo. I don't know if y'all are familiar.
Mm-hmm. We usually do that every time.
I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I figured you didn't know what I was talking about.
I'm sorry. Go
So,
ahead.
so
Continue.
it's like a Western themed dinner
comedy
show.
show, yeah. It's actually really fun.
Don't worry about explaining to me. Just carry on.
They have really good strawberry shortcake at the end.
Yes, they did.
Cool.
And you get pictures of Yingling.
It's all you can eat
Outstanding.
chicken and ribs. It's pretty solid.
All right, I might be in now.
It's a really good time. It's probably the best dinner show on grounds.
I think easily. I don't know what else is better besides that. But we went back to Epcot after that. We did that so early. We did that at 4:00, and it was just insane getting back. I did manage to drink around the world. So I almost had a beverage from every single country. Norway was the only one, and they just literally didn't have anything that looked desirable to me. So I was ready to purchase one, so I had like additional drinks in France.
I actually like the Pilsner that I have out by Norway.
You still have your tattoo?
I that tattoo took me so long to scrub off. For our listeners, I had it was like a list of countries on my wrist that I
You had
could
a
check
cunt?
off as I was drinking them. What was that? Can you repeat that real quick?
You had a cunt on your arm?
Countries?
What tattoo was harder to get off? The one from Hogs that you had on your neck or the one from Disney?
I don't even remember trying to get that one off. So I mean, some drunkenness might have been at play, but definitely the Disney one.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm sure Todd and Travis remember I had 2 tattoos on my neck. It was the hat that I'm wearing right now, a little.
I
pig
saw the
symbol.
videos. You look like you're ready to cut somebody. It's like,
He
Yeah,
looked
went
West
real
Bank
hard.
thug.
I literally had people come up to me asking me like, "Oh, those are sweet tattoos," and then I'm like, and they're like, "Where'd you get them?" I'm like, "Oh, I got them in my tent," and they were all disappointed.
But yeah, so was there anything like new about this trip? That's something that you hadn't done before that you were super excited about?
So I was fortunate enough to get it last year. early last year. It was like right after, was it Tron opened up not horribly long ago?
Yeah.
I've done like all the new rides, and I'm happy I got to go this time because there's a couple. There's so many rides that have been closing. They're doing so many updates, and I think it's to the park's detriment in some cases. I'm still super upset. The Great Movie Ride doesn't exist in Hollywood Studios anymore, and it's this little Mickey and Minnie
Ratatouille.
Runaway. That
Oh,
ride's
no.
actually great.
Oh no, you're right. It is the Mickey Runaway.
And
You're right,
it's a
you're
good
right.
ride for kids, but I mean, it's not the Great Movie
It's not
Ride.
the great movie ride.
And you have these. I wish they would expand like they're doing in other parts of the park, opposed to redoing stuff.
Maybe not quite to the same extent because, like, I do agree with you. Like, the Great Movie Ride is a good bit better than Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but it's not quite as bad as Frozen replacing Maelstrom. But
That one's
it's
rough. I didn't even
kinda
go
the same-
on that one.
Yeah,
I
kinda
did
on the same token.
So I did go on Tiana's, and I think last time we talked about how y'all were super disappointed in the remake of Splash Mountain. So I kind of went into it.
Did any? I think
I went on it. Yeah, I was disappointed in it. I like I said, I think the animatronics look good. Everything looks really good on it, but there's no lead up to the drop.
Correct.
So it's like
There's some pink light, and it's the most disappointing thing because Dr. Facilier is not even in
He's
the
not even
ride
in it.
at all. And it's like, why not? This could have been a great, like, you're about to go down the big drop and have, but there's some slight pink light. That's it.
well, like Hans is not on the Frozen
Correct.
ride, so it's
Correct.
like you're leaving like two really, in my opinion, those are two of my favorite villains. So it's like you're leaving two of the two cool villains off the ride.
Yeah, so that was a downer. But I went into it kind of expecting it to not be great, and it was better than I expected. What? You okay over there, Pat?
his bowels are not.
Let me just apologize. There's a slight smell in the air, and it's my fault.
You doing some yellow jacket stuff over here?
I am yes I am actually.
Oh God, I just got to work.
And I'm listen. I'm not proud of it. I'm sorry.
Oh, the fan's not on. Is the AC
I mean,
even on in here?
Listen. Fine. You can. I am the bad teammate for this episode. All right, that's my fault.
Who's
Give
whose
Mike a
team are
chance
you
to
on?
step up.
Did you shit on yourself?
Whose team are you on? You're not on our team with that.
I'm just saying. Today is my day to be the bad guy.
No, is there anything else before we move on from your Disney trip that you'd like to add, Russell?
One question I do want to ask Russell. Russell, did you stop at Raglan Road in Disney Springs, and did you get a beer at Baseline
So
in Hollywood Studios?
No, I literally only went to the parks, nothing else.
Damn, Pat.
And I tried to go to the tap room multiple times and just got derailed with the rest of the group.
Yeah.
I watched it from afar and I was like looking at it longingly. I'm like, I could get a beer right
Yeah,
now.
look, sometimes when you go with big groups, that becomes an issue.
I did step away a lot. So since it was such a big group, me and Haley, we walked and just did our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the unfortunate thing about Hollywood was, so that's where Galaxy's Edge is, and what's the name of the damn ride? The Rise of the Resistance. It was down for over half the day. So I'm sitting there like checking my phone constantly. When is this thing going to open up?
Yes.
So I decided to go ride the Muppet 3D Vision thing. And as I checked it right before, it was still closed. I checked it right after, it was open, and it was already like a 95-minute wait. So I almost waited like 2.5 hours to get on that damn ride.
Yeah.
But you did.
I did do it, and it was fantastic. And what was funny is, Haley's not a huge Star Wars person, so she's like, I'm not waiting 2.5 hours for that ever again. But I was like, I'll go wait again. Like, that was amazing. I want to do it again.
All right, guys. Well,
Oh,
next weekend is Easter Sunday, and
made it around the table.
and I was just seeing, Todd and I have some pretty big Easter plans. But I'd like to go around the table and hear what everybody else has planned for Easter. Pat, would you like to start?
Short and sweet. Going to Houston. My niece's daughter, her 9th birthday was April 7th, and I couldn't go that weekend because that was Hogs. So I'm going to Houston on Friday, coming back probably Monday night. You know the drill. I'm going to go to as many breweries as I can. Going to hit up Total, probably try to bring back some Pineapple Manor for Todd, maybe and Travis as well. See if I can find some other really cool beers to bring back just in general. I know Brash has a couple beers that that are coming back that I'm definitely going to try and bring home for sampling and for my own personal use. Same thing with equal parts, but hopefully I'm going to go see a couple different new breweries, and maybe if the Astros are home, maybe catch a baseball game. I don't know. That'd be just a good thing to do, even though I don't care about the Astros,
Yeah.
but it's a baseball game.
Hopefully they're playing somebody that you want to see crush them.
I don't care who they're playing. I hope whoever they're playing crushes them. So yeah, but that's it for me. I'm going to Houston.
Do you think the peanut butter wolf will be
I
brewed?
I know for a fact it's not. There's no announcement. The only thing that I know Brash is bringing back right now is the Black Masses. It's like a 8 or 9% Imperial Stout, I believe. So, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm gonna at least two 6-packs are coming back with me. Probably 3. Just depends on how much I can fit into my cooler and whatever else I find the store at the Total Wine stores and other breweries in the area. And for Russell, I'll be doing some bourbon hunting.
Vulgar display of power.
I can that hopefully for sure.
Mhm.
For sure.
Put it on your list.
Bulgarian Miak.
I wish.
Dot Matrix or Noon Witch?
I need to check at the menu, but Dot Matrix might be back, but it might not. I don't know for certain.
That one is like.
Which one is vulgar
Yeah,
display of
Dot
power? That's
Matrix and
Brash.
Noon Witch.
Brash.
So back to that bourbon statement.
Yeah. I will reluctantly and at the detriment of my bank account, I'm bourbon hunting. Obviously, there's a few things that are, I wouldn't say Texas only, but they're more prominent in Texas that I'm gonna try to bring back. But for what I've bought in bourbon the last 4 days, I probably need to not buy bourbon. But I think I'm getting a raise at work on tomorrow, so I'll find out do my
On tomorrow.
yeah.
Celebration is.
Well, I have a meeting with to do my performance review, and I'm assuming I'm getting a raise because they've been talking about this for 4 or 5 months. Plus, I think they're going to owe us back pay because this raise is supposed to be from January. So
cost,
I have,
cost of living 2%. No.
Sounds like a lot of bourbon money right there.
in theory, yes, but I could also be a responsible adult and put that money elsewhere,
No.
or just say F it and blow it all on bourbon and make more content.
Question that you're talking about bourbon. I just remembered yesterday I was at Total Wine
Mhm.
and a dude, well, first of all, checking out, the guy walks up to the cashier. One, he's like, "Where's your Buffalo Trace?" She didn't know what Buffalo Trace was. So that felt like you work here, right? Okay. Maybe you're just a cashier.
That I understand what you're saying, but also take into account there are over 5,000 SKUs in the store, so they may not know something.
And he was looking for Buffalo Trace whiskey. He kept saying whiskey, and I was like, "That's bourbon to my knowledge." And the guy was like, because he said that the brewery or the distillery got flooded or something. Is that true? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The parts of Kentucky went through massive flooding, and there's a bunch of photos of the Buffalo Trace distillery that's underwater. So the distillery is shut down right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how soon they're going to reopen, but yeah, they're suffering some massive losses from that.
Mhm.
So, and of course, people kind of freak out and they wonder like, oh, is it going to be harder to find now that they're shut down for an unknown amount of time?
Yeah.
And whatnot. So,
Well, this was an older gentleman, and he seemed like, one of those that he's like, he hears things on the news and was like, "They're not going to ever have it again." And he's like the way he's talking, like he's got to go buy up every Buffalo Trace they have in the store.
there are definitely people that are doing that, and I'm like, listen, it's not
toilet paper before COVID.
It's also not that serious, but also you could just find something else that you like because there's
right
over 100.
Like we've
easily
already
over 100
talked
different
about
bourbons.
Buffalo Trace. It's not like it's the only bourbon on the planet.
Exactly. So yes, there are people probably panic buying, just like there's some panic buying with tariffs in all industries and whatnot. So, but the only thing I want to say, Sean, is just a correction. All bourbon is whiskey. Not every whiskey is a bourbon.
Right.
Don't mind me. That's just a nerdy thing that I have to correct people on just because it.
Well, I didn't know if Buffalo Trace has whiskey. Like they don't sell just bourbon.
They pretty much only have bourbon.
Okay. Well, that's what I mean. Because the guy's like, "Where's your Buffalo Trace? It's whiskey." Whiskey. He never once said the name bourbon.
Right. Technically, he's not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, everyone calls it's a bourbon.
Right. It's
So,
like I know that as a bourbon.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to throw that.
I mean,
because
I
I'm
didn't say that
I'm
like
a
I was
snooty
being
asshole.
like
I'm sorry.
snooty to him, but I was like the conversation because I'm trying to actually. It was like I was filling out Jessica's gift card when I was buying it. I was writing on the back of it and listening to this guy talk to the cashier, and I was like, "Buffalo Trace is bourbon, to my knowledge, or whatever I said."
You are correct.
It's kind of like a Goza as a beer.
Yeah,
Right. You are correct, and he was correct. He just obviously is not as well versed, but again, he probably heard something from someone and doesn't really drink a lot of
I just
bourbon
chimed in
knows.
because I was surprised that the cashier had like no clue, like she's never heard of Buffalo Trace or something.
Yeah, that's more of just a, not to say and demean him like that she's just a cashier, but a lot of people don't know about some of that
She's
stuff.
not on the floor, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
next.
Russ, what are you doing for Easter?
So Easter weekend, I look forward to every year. You got Crescent City Classic coming up that I typically do almost every year, and it's been a while since I've done this, but I used to. My company used to sponsor it, so I used to be able to get a huge group together and I would walk the entire thing. But I would also have 3 liters of margaritas and a Camelback
Nice.
that I would walk with, and I would get pretty tuned up for the after party, and I'd just have a really good time. I've been running it lately. I'm not gonna run the whole thing this year, but I'm looking forward to being there. I dressed up last year. I dressed up as Goku, and 2 other people dressed up as Goku and Trunks. For those that are familiar with Dragon Ball, but I'm doing that again this year. Looking forward to it. And then one of my biggest things that I look forward to is my family gets together and does an annual Jello shot hunt. We started doing this like 6 or so years ago, maybe longer. It's turned into just making Jello shots and just doing a shitload of them. But I mean, the first few years,
Open the fridge. Oops, I found them.
Yeah, we actually legitimately hid them the first few years, and we were finding Jello shots in like the garden like years after. And specifically, I'm gonna call it my uncle. The very first year, he got so drunk just doing Jello shots. I mean, we had 400 something Jello shots. Everybody makes them, but it's a really good time. It's good family event. So, but that's it.
Okay.
That's on what day? Saturday or Sunday?
That's on Saturday.
Okay. What are you doing on actual Easter Sunday?
We get together and just have typical family Easter.
Right, so after the race, you go do Jello shots.
Jello shots.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike? Any work this Easter? Or you off?
No, I don't have to work. I'm off, so that's good. I was thinking about maybe starting off at the strip club and finishing off at the massage parlor.
Happy ending?
Which one? Asking for a friend.
No, that's a joke.
Really?
So I've been wanting to go out in a boat for weeks now, and at Jessica's party, we were talking about fishing, and I think this is a great opportunity to go out, take the boat out. I hear it's going to be very, very nice weather, so we're probably going to do that Saturday.
Yeah.
Or so.
You're gonna get reaccustomed to the boat since you haven't taken it out in so damn
I
long.
know.
Are we sure it still runs?
No, it definitely runs. I tested it out, and washed it, cleaned it, and all that stuff a few weeks ago. So,
But as far
It's
as
good to
Easter Sunday, you just do the normal stuff.
yeah,
stay at
normal
home.
stuff. Yeah,
Do you have a
Good.
captain's hat?
a captain's hat.
Yeah, like when on the boat. You're the captain.
Like
So
Logan's
I wear like this little what do you call it, a Panama Jack hat.
Bucket cap type deal.
No, it's not a bucket hat.
I was thinking something more like Captain Stabbin would wear.
No.
Okay.
Y'all do anything on the boat, like tubing or anything?
Drugs.
Drugs.
You'll throw it
Lines of cocaine.
You'll throw it a lily pad. Huh?
Yeah, we have a lily pad. My second one, the first one I lost on the interstate. But we just hang out on the water and bring some music and, chill.
You're gonna head over to the beach, as in Pontchartrain.
Yeah. I like it over there. It's nice. And now that they redid the boat launch by my house, like it's going to be that much better. I don't have to go all the way to Bonneville to
Thanks,
launch. Thank you, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
So, yeah.
How about you, Sean? What do you have planned?
Saturday is my family's annual crawfish boil at my cousin's house, and looking forward to that. It's my first crawfish of the season. I haven't had crawfish yet, and that's usually the big thing. And then Sunday is, I don't know, we don't have plans yet, but usually my mom wants to do something because it's Easter Sunday, and I think last year we ended up doing brunch at Ruby Slipper,
Okay.
so that might happen. I have no idea, but yeah, pretty basic.
But you said Monday and Tuesday you're planning on going to the beach, huh?
Yes, and then because of my child's school decides to give them Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday off, then it's like, okay, I guess we'll do something Easter Monday and Tuesday. So we're going to go spend the night in Orange Beach, come back Tuesday evening, and then they got school the next day.
You're going to hit Lambert's while you're there?
Maybe, yeah.
Catch a roll for me.
Home of them throwed rolls.
Yep. They enjoyed it. We brought them there once before on a Gulf Shores. I forget wherever we went that year.
It's kind of
You gonna stop at Boosie's?
I don't know.
what?
You know, Boosie's.
No, I don't know.
I was like, I don't know how to answer that.
that gas station that's like a Walmart.
Oh, Buc-ee's.
Boosie's.
Well, the Buc-ee's in Mississippi was supposed to open in like February, but it's not opening until June, I think.
Right, yeah.
I do plan on going to that.
So, Todd, Travis, what are y'all doing for Easter?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Pat. We are actually going to Ohio. I was hoping y'all would join. I was hoping you and Russell would join and follow with a caravan and come home and birth tons of bourbon.
Yeah, if we did, we wouldn't be tagging along very much. We would land in the city with you guys and immediately go to the rental car station and then go depart to find all the bourbon.
Okay.
But you guys are going to Ohio, starting in Cleveland.
So we're flying out Wednesday night. We're both going to take a half day Wednesday, full day off Thursday. I actually thought we were off Thursday, so that was a mistake on my part when I planned the trip. But so we had to take a day and a half off of work. We're going to fly out Wednesday night, get in Cincinnati, sleep the night, and then that Thursday, Reds play the Mariners. So we're going to catch the Reds and Mariners. The women are going to do something else. They don't want to do 2 ball games. We'll spend another day in Cincinnati. I bought tickets to something called the American Sign Museum, which is like a museum that has a bunch of neon signs and whatnot. It looks really cool. Then that's going to be Friday. Then Saturday, we'll spend the whole day pretty much driving from Cincinnati to Cleveland, but we're going to make a stop in Columbus to see the Ohio State University and spend some time there, take a tour of it.
Not a Blue Jackets game.
Well, if they have some, if they have some cool Blue Jackets merch, maybe stop and look at that too while we're there. Because I don't have anything else planned that day. I think that's going to be just Ohio State and driving. Then we'll spend the last 2 days in Cleveland, cap off the trip on Monday night with a Yankees and Guardians game.
Are we not doing Canton again?
If we're going to do Canton, it's going to be the Sunday morning. So we're going to arrive in Cleveland and then just drive there early and do that and drive back to Cleveland.
Question.
Because it's only an hour away.
So you're going to the University of Ohio State campus. Do they have tours for the stadium that you know of or that you can do?
They may, and we'll probably definitely pass it and then take a picture by it. But I don't know if we're going to actually do a tour though.
Okay, I didn't know if you had done like research and kind of work plan. I know you're a meticulous planner and that's your thing. So I didn't know if you had maybe looked into like
anything
doing
closed for the holidays by any chance? Because
yeah, I don't know. That'll be the day before Easter. That would be there.
Because that one canceled Mardi Gras in 21. We went over to Biloxi and Mobile. Did like the battleship and stuff, but forgot that, oh yeah, they act like they invented Mardi Gras over there and there was shit closed for like Lundi Gras and Mardi Gras and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I mean, it's Ohio. They're godless people anyway, so I'm sure everything's open.
No, I think we still plan on doing the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I just feel like if we tried to do it on that Saturday, we'd just have too much. It would be too rushed. Like you'd have to drive through Ohio State, then drive, because I think it's like 2 hours away from Columbus to Canton. So you have to drive 2 hours, then worry about the time you have to actually take the tour of the hall. So I think like Sunday morning would probably be better to do that.
Have you looked into any breweries in the area that you guys have a couple mapped out?
That's usually Todd's department, and I think we've picked out at least 2 for each city. So at least one, 2 in Cincinnati, 2 in Cleveland. I know probably not the smartest idea to do 1 in Columbus since we'll be spending the whole day driving, but potentially there too. We could look at that. So. Is there anything in particular that you're most looking forward to on this trip, Todd?
I mean, just the baseball games and the breweries. That's it. And I mean, every now and then, the museums pop up, and some of them end up kind of being hidden gems. So the Sign Museum might be really good in Cincinnati. And when Travis and I went to Omaha, I mean, the first thing we did was we stopped at a museum called the Durham Museum, which was like an old train station that they turned into a museum. And I wasn't thinking anything much of it when we got there, but then the shit was like 4 floors deep, and it like went lower. So you start at like the top floor, and you can just go lower, and it had some cool shit in there. So
it goes really deep.
Really deep.
How deep?
4 stories deep.
So even though like the museums aren't like something I'm necessarily looking forward to, it may end up being good. I mean, I know in Cleveland we're going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum again, which is really cool. That's actually, I mean, I think I've shared this with y'all last time when we went to Cleveland. I think, again, this is another one that's like floor to floor to floor. And the bottom floor, they actually had the Alice in Chains puppets from the I Stay Away video. And it was that was probably the coolest part of the trip for me, just seeing those puppets, because big Alice in Chains fan, favorite music video of all time.
Did you bring a second set of underwear?
Yeah, I had to change. I had to go bring them in the bathroom and wring them out and change them. So even though,
was that necessary?
Guess not.
You want to edit this out?
No.
Okay. Then behave yourself.
But no, look, I'm really looking forward to it. The crappiest part is getting through 2.5 days of work, because I'm going to be completely unmotivated for sure for these next couple of days. So hopefully it goes by quick. All right, so we're jumping out from the Easter holidays, and we're going to do a little bit of sports talk. And Pat, you have anything that you want to say about the Masters golf tournament?
Really, just congratulations to Rory for getting that monkey off his back. He's now completed the career Grand Slam. He's won all 4 majors, and he was close, I think, in 2022, and it kind of slipped away from him. I don't remember exactly what he's done the last 2 years, but to finally get that and complete that, I'm sure that's a huge weight off his back, and he'll probably even play even freer than he has this year. But he was probably the number 1 or number 2 odds-on betting favorite to win, along with Scottie Scheffler, even though Scheffler was kind of dealing with some post-injury and rehab, so he wasn't going to be maybe at his best. But yeah, I haven't watched much of coverage or anything since Thursday, but I just wanted to just do a shout out for Rory completing the slam and winning the fourth major of the group to complete the slam for him. So others, that's really about that. Other sports topic stuff. Trying to think what stood out.
Before you jump off the Masters, did you all see? I believe it was Rory's daughter. I
was going to ask about that. I saw 2 videos, one of him chipping, and then it totally rolled in the water, and he ended up like double bogeying in that hole. And then it was like the next clip was his daughter like tapping a ball, and then it like rolled in.
It went.
And it was like it took like
it was really funny
20 seconds for it to get to the hole, and it's like she was just like a little sister comes in and starts picking her up, and the girl looks like, "What did I do?"
Yeah, it's funny. Everybody else was like jumping up and down.
Yeah, like his caddy or whoever it was like, he comes in the frame, and the comments were like, "Who was that bingo?" You know. But yeah, it was a good moment. Like, just I happened to randomly see that. I wasn't even thinking about the Masters.
It was adorable. Yeah. I randomly caught that as well.
Yeah, like the par 3 contest is usually most everyone's favorite part outside of the actual tournament and the competition, because you have the wives and their kids, and the kids are running around. They're helping the dads putt, and they're just adorable in their little caddy jacket with the hat on. So that's always a really cool thing, and it really, that part overshadows the actual par 3 contest. It's really all about the little kids running around having a great time with their dad and their mom and the family at that part of the event. So that was really cool. I can't wait to kind of catch up on the Masters and see some highlights. But that was probably the biggest part, at least for me, of the sports weekend from a positive standpoint.
Young, huh? Rory's only what, 30s?
He's either high 30s, maybe early 40s. So he's still young-ish.
Well,
but
I wanted to say he was our age, roughly.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a seasoned veteran on the tour now. But
he still looks young. He looks like a young dude.
Yeah. There was I'm trying to think if there's any other big sports things from the weekend. I know we have the draft that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Kyren Lacy.
Yeah, we can get that out. Yeah, let's get that out the way now.
The NHL playoffs are coming up too.
Yeah, back to the Kyren Lacy thing. The report came out earlier this morning that he had died in Houston. He was definitely going to be drafted in the first couple rounds. He was a star wide receiver at LSU. He was found dead last night, Saturday.
Was it in a hotel room?
I didn't see that detail. I just said he was found dead in
Houston.
Yeah. And it's always sad, especially for someone so young. I think he was 24 years old, and they're speculating and presuming that it's kind of be a suicide thing. I know he's got some legal things he was going through.
Well, they said tomorrow, Monday, that they were going to start doing like a hearing for like the evidence or something on the hit and run thing that he was involved in. So
Yeah,
he probably panicked and said, you know,
I'm sure there's probably some, and again, I don't want to speculate or get into that whole thing, but I'm sure there's like some mental things. He was kind of just dealing with demons, just because he seemed, I guess, on the surface to be a great player, but maybe some things you read about him in his past and upbringing, that bit of trouble going on, and it's a really sad thing from that regard that a young man didn't have help or couldn't get the help or didn't ask for the help, and this is the result of some bad decisions that he made. And so, yeah, a lot of people are just kind of still in shock about it because he was so young and he was so talented
24.
on the field. Yeah. But you have the whole incident that he was going to be charged with, and that was a tragic situation of itself. And those families are forever impacted. And now your heart, I guess, if nothing else, no matter how you feel about his part in the whole situation, you feel for his family, and they're losing a child and family and friends like that. So that's really sad. A lot of LSU people were reaching out and talking about it, and it's tough, but we'll see. We don't want to speculate, but we kind of know what the probable cause is for here. So it's just a sad experience overall.
Well, I mean, another loss that we suffered recently over the course of the past 2 weeks was really outstanding actor Val Kilmer. Honestly, I never really considered Val Kilmer to be one of my favorite actors, but he's been in two of my all-time favorite movies, and of course, one would be Tombstone, which is his role as Doc Holliday, which is absolutely classic. Then another one, and this movie gets a shit ton of criticism, but the 1996 version of The Island of Dr. Moreau, I really love that movie, and he was in that one as well.
I actually thought he was a pretty underrated Batman. Like I know he wasn't Bale caliber by any stretch, but at the same time, I thought his Batman was pretty good.
He wasn't Keaton caliber, but I mean, he was,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's been in some incredible movies. I don't know how underrated or overrated he would be. I definitely think he's more underrated than overrated, I would say. But he had some really, really good, impactful roles in some really big movies. Obviously, he was in Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. But for me, Heat will be the movie that he stands out the most in for me, because that's probably the first movie I saw or that I remember outside of Tombstone that he was in. He was a big, prominent character in, so that will always kind of stick with me. Not a big movie buff, but I definitely respected his acting chops and the roles he played in some really good movies over the course of time. And obviously, Top Gun being one of my favorite movies,
yeah,
I loved
Top
him
Gun definitely
as Iceman in that.
MacGruber. His character name in MacGruber was Dieter von Kunth, and they kept saying, "Let's go pound some Kunth."
I don't know if y'all talked about this in the previous episode when I wasn't here, but Gene Hackman.
No, I don't think we did. No,
We didn't mention him.
No, we talked about George Foreman, but we didn't Gene Hackman. And Gene Hackman was one of my favorite actors. So.
I think it was a couple episodes ago that we mentioned it, and about just how odd it was. Some of the circumstances surrounding it, like how one of the dogs had died as well, but another one or two were still alive. Plus his wife being found in a different room, and there was like pills around her and this and that, and who died first and how long there was time in between that. We kind of talked a little bit about it, but it was so fresh. There weren't a ton of details about what happened.
Didn't we throw out like a top 5 Gene Hackman movie or something? Like
I think we talked about some stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't it ultimately ruled carbon monoxide?
I thought it wasn't.
That was rumors. That was
the
I think they
initial
rolled that
rumors
out.
for
Yeah.
it. And then I heard like after the fact that like the wife died first and he was still alive for like a few days, but he was so like aloof and didn't know.
I mean, he's freaking 95. I mean, how much could he get
she
around?
Wasn't able to take care of him, so he passed. Like it's still odd.
Yeah, all I can say is he played a very good Dick in The Quick and the Dead, as John Herod knows. My favorite role of him.
He was your favorite Dick?
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of celebrity deaths, college football player deaths. So we all rest in peace. I know a couple of y'all are pouring out some Modelo right now. I'll pour out some orange Coke Zero for y'all. But anyway, sad situation.
I think you might be transitioning to it. Kind of back to the sports thing. It's not 100% sports, but But I do have a question for you guys. I kind of want to go around the room and get your opinion on something because I'm seeing a trend in mostly sports teams related apparel. Have you seen the upside down and backwards letters like hats that are coming out in public now?
I have not, so I'm going to pull.
I've
this
only
up
been
on
seeing the
Google right
baseball
now.
hats you were sharing with like the big logo in the middle, and it makes the name look funny, like Anals instead of Angels.
Yeah,
Right.
the big MLB and New Era snafu with
Yeah.
like Tejas being Tetas.
That's
being
what
Yeah,
It's-
the Titas. It was
Yeah.
Texas. It was,
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about at first. But
No, so and I've seen some just lifestyle name or brands hats where yes, that if you can show it to the camera, the logo or the name is backwards and upside down, and it's
it's like
mildly,
it makes you stare at it longer. Like, all right, I got it.
it's almost mildly infuriating to me because I don't think it's cool. And there was like one hat I saw, I'm like, kind of cool maybe, but then I'm like, I would never wear that. And then I see the majority of people that wear these hats kind of nozzly.
It,
This
it,
has
it
got
fits the
nozzle
profile,
removal.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe the towers will take care of those.
No, because I think they're gonna put this local, but it's just that I if you look at it, I can't get on board with it, and it's becoming more. I saw so many at Hogs, and just out in just the general public of people wearing these hats with the logo or the name backwards and upside down, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know when it started being popular or what. Maybe a celebrity or athlete wore it to make it popular.
I see that's an opportunity for a joke hat to have something upside down and backwards, and when somebody reads it, they're like, "Oh, it says douche" or something like that. You know?
I mean, you know what? Honestly, now that I think about it, I think I want to get one for Todd. Not to say douche or anything like that, but I want to
I
just.
guarantee you, there's gonna be a custom one that says "I eat ass" or something, and it's upside down.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking about for our fellow podcast member over here. Or maybe we just get one for each of us backwards. Like Russell's hat would say macarons upside down and backwards.
I'm good
That'd be
with
his thing.
Hey, wasted wagons. So when people figure out what it is, and like, "Yep,
I'll let y'all handle that. I won't be wearing or sporting or supporting that. But if you want one, by all means, knock your socks off. Go do it.
so look, I'll jump in on that. I'll say like I don't think I'd be a fan of these hats because I'm kind of picky about my hats. Like
Yeah.
I generally like fitted hats, and then I usually would like obviously a team that I follow, but I'd like it to usually have a cool logo on it, not just like the wording. So I don't think I would ever purchase one.
These seem to be very bro centric and bro specific.
it'll lead
hats.
into the logo upside down and reversed."
I mean, hey, but salute and shout out to you. If that's your thing, go ahead, cool. But there seems to be a profile that I don't really want to associate with.
Nozzle alert.
And before we fully move on from this topic, because there is something that kind of relates to this. But did y'all see the new City Connects that dropped? I know I saw the Nationals jersey drop, the Rockies jersey, the Giants. I think there was one more. But what any thoughts on any of those MLB City Connects that dropped?
They're sweet.
I mean, the Rockies look really cool. I think the Nationals are really cool too, especially when they incorporated the little cherry blossoms on it.
Yeah.
The Giants logo sucks.
And the Giants one was kind of odd.
Yes, I actually would agree with you. I like the coloring of the Nationals, and I do like the fact that they included the cherry blossoms. I like the coloring of the Giants a little bit, especially how they have a little bit of the color on the bill, which a different color on the bill. But I do think overall they're kind of plain looking. But I think the Rockies kind of knocked theirs out the park. I would put theirs, up with almost the Tampa Bay Rays from last year or 2 years ago. But yeah, the Rockies one really looks nice.
Who was the one that had not like a rainbow, but they had like that color kind of fading in and out? It was like multicolored looking on like the trim and stuff like that.
I'm not sure.
That was baseball.
You might be talking about the Rockies.
It might be the Rockies then.
That's the one. I sent it in the group text. And then the Giants look similar. The Giants almost looks.
Oh, it might be the Giants that I'm thinking of.
The Giants looks almost graffiti-ish, but they incorporated some pink in it, and the pink is really the part that I like about it. Other than that, it kind of looks plain. But yeah, I know we usually talk about the City Connects more on here. All right, so there was a couple of concerts that a couple of Wasted Wagons recently attended, and I'll let Sean start off with this one because he recently attended a 311 concert back in March, So tell us your thoughts on it, John.
It was, I haven't seen it. Well, they haven't been here since it's about the same time, 2022. And it's very interesting because on this tour, it was only 3 shows. It was like they're on the way to the cruise. They had the cruise that was leaving out of Orlando. So they had like, I think somewhere in Texas, Louisiana, one in or like somewhere mid Florida, and then they got on the cruise. And compared to 2022, it was like packed. It was sold out, all, shoulder to shoulder in there. Whereas in 2022, it was like halfway up the floor. And it's like, I don't know, maybe that was still close enough to COVID. That was, people were, afraid to go. I don't know. But I mean, they were actually my last concert in February of 20. I saw them at the Fillmore as well. So like last 3 times there. But it was still a good show. It's surprising being to going to like 311 days before and stuff like that, that they played 24 songs, but it felt like when it was done, it was like, wait, that's it. It was, I guess they have shorter songs. And when I looked back at the set lists afterwards, I actually liked the set list in 2022 better. But I mean, they always put on a good show. I mean, met 3 dudes there that were, from St. Edward that, so we had like a little group going and, and they were big fans. Like one of the dudes had the Super Mario Brothers, a yellow shirt. It looked like Super Mario Brothers 3, but it was 311. Like with the 3 was, it was like pretty cool shirt that he had on. And so it was, it was a good time. It was a little pricey and everything, when it was all said and done. But, me and Sarah ended up going, because we were running late, we ended up going to the harbor beforehand and getting a big ass burger. So that hit the spot. It was a good little date night for us,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually really gave some strong consideration to going to that concert, but the ticket prices were like $85 when I looked, and it kind of threw me off a little. But same day, Todd and I actually decided to go to see 12 Stones on a reunion show at Southport Hall. Todd, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
It was a reunion show? Like
This was their first show that they've done in 7 years.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I mean, most of the time you go to shows at the Southport Hall, they're a little bit underwhelming. I mean, we've seen bands like Alien Ant Farm and Orgy and
Pop Evil.
Yeah, Pop Evil there, and the crowd is just it's like 30 or 40 people. I mean, it's small. This obviously 12 Stones is from Mandeville, so they have a kind of a local crowd. So it was a nice, decent crowd there, and the set list was really good from start to finish. So, obviously, I think Paul McCoy is probably the only original member of the band. Most of the band is a bunch of younger guys in him, but good set list, good show, good crowd.
How many people were there? It was like 50 people, or
it was a little bit more than normal. So I would say
no, it was more than 50 people.
Probably
there.
more like between 70 and 80. On
no,
this one,
that's pretty good. Yeah.
And they did play, all the hits from pretty much top to bottom. The set list was very good. Tickets were $20, so you can't really beat that. And then at the very end of the show, Paul McCoy went out on the floor and said, "Hey, anybody wants a picture? I'll be right over here." And he didn't charge for them or anything. So
yeah, those kind of shows are the best. You hang out long enough, and you could talk to the band members, take pictures and stuff. Yeah.
So Todd and I went with Newman and Tommy, and we all got a picture with him, and it was a good time. Very good time, cheap show.
What's your favorite song by 12 Stones?
Mine's Lie to Me.
Mine's Hate the Way I Feel. The Way I Feel.
I think, was it Running Away from Pain is the song from the green cover album? I think that's my favorite. Sorry.
I was trying to remember. I remember the green one, like Broken's on there, obviously, but like the
Broken
first
and
3 or
Crash.
4 songs, I forget what their names are, but I remember liking the beginning of
The
that
Way
album.
I Feel. Yeah.
If I had to pick one, it might be
Open
like
Your Eyes, too.
Photograph. I mean, not that I know their music that well, but you remember not Nickelback Photograph. They have a song Photograph that's on the second Pottersfield album. Yeah, I remember having that one. So yeah.
But yeah, good shows, good prices, good price for 12 Stones, and John sounded like he had a really good time at 311. So yeah, anybody else attend any concerts recently?
I have one coming up, May 13th, Killswitch Engage. I got Biff and Dylan are going. I got tickets.
I thought about that one too.
It's on a Tuesday night, which kind of sucks, but not only Killswitch Engaged, Shadows Falls, another favorite of mine, and they're opening, and they're back together. They were a band that was on hiatus for a while, so I'm like, I have to go when I saw that they were going to be there. So looking forward to that.
I'll be going to Metallica in June. Looking forward to it in Houston.
Sweet. Like 2-night show, one of those.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like, yeah, because I've heard they do shit like that where it's like a weekend thing almost, and they'll be there like on a Friday and Sunday, and then have like different openers on both. Or
Actually, I don't know. It might just be a one-nighter over there.
yeah,
Well, thanks for the invite.
My cousin invited me.
Are they still touring with Pantera, or is that over?
Yeah, I think that's the same tour. Actually.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that it's like, yeah, like say one night Pantera
It's
opens
that
for 'em, and then
and
like
Suicidal Tendencies.
yeah, and then like say the second night had like Five Finger Death Punch open for him and somebody else or something. But it was like you could go to either night, but it's a different set list. Like that was a big deal. It was like 2 nights, 2 set lists.
Well, yeah, and if we're talking about coming up ones, our Todd and I's wives got us tickets to Shinedown for our birthday, so that's coming up in May.
It's May 6th. Huh?
I'll also be going to Jake Owen at Beau Rivage like a couple nights before that.
Has anyone ever told you that you look a little bit like Jake Owen, minus the long hair part?
Nope.
No? Okay.
He's a handsome motherfucker though. So I mean,
So Todd will take it.
Sure. Not at all.
All right, we're going to close out this here episode with some gear grinders. Sean said he had something that's been grinding his gears lately, so we'll go ahead and let him go.
I'll get this out of the way since I need to go, take a leak. But it's because I keep seeing the commercial over and over again, and it's Fox did the thing where like they did like the king cake bracket or whatever, like, and it's like something NOLA website. Well, right now they're doing top pizzas, and the commercial, they played it last year, and it's got Shelby Latino and the other chick, and they do that cliche thing when it's like, pizza is round, but it comes in a square box, and it's cut in triangles. It's total madness. And I'm like, that shit is so fucking cheesy. I'm so sick of people that like say stuff like that, latch on to these like cheesy phrases like this, and it's like, what anything round on the planet do you know comes in a fucking round box? A box is a box. It's like if you put a bowling ball in a round box, it would roll. It has to come in a square box, And it's like, could you picture pizza in a round box? Like, what? Like how would you can't hold the corners? There's no corners,
You got the Tombstone pizza that comes in a round.
Well, that's frozen pizza.
It's not really a box, though.
But just
like
think,
buy a nice hat, it would come in a round box.
like cardboard bottom with wrapping on it.
but just it's just like, and it's not just things like that. It's when like people just like get like too into like some cliche thing like that, And I can't think of. I'm drawing a blank on other phrases and things like that where people and it's like I don't know. I guess it's like I'm too literal and logical. It's just like, why would it come in a round box? That's fucking stupid.
It's like a cookie cake. Cookie cakes come in square boxes too.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then it's like, oh, it's cut into triangles. It's like, not exactly. What about cake? What about pie? What about anything round? If you cut a piece of it, it's going to be cut in a triangle. I mean, how else do you cut the damn thing?
I think it depends on the kind of pie.
I have a gear grinder, real quick. I was thinking about it. They have the numbers 22, 33, 44, etc. Right? Why
Multiples
is
of
11? Why is 11? Shouldn't it be 21? I mean that really grinds my gears.
What about 1E2 and 1E3 and
1E1.
Sounds like an episode title getting written down.
Well, wow, Mike, how did you think of this one?
I've been giving it a lot of thought lately.
And why is it grinding your gears?
11. Who the fuck came up with 11? Ooh, I want to know.
Or 12.
21.
Mike, I'm sorry to do this, but did you just say 11?
No, he said 1E1.
1E, even worse, 1E1.
To divert from that, I thought about like one of those other like sample phrases that people love to say, and it's like I've been hearing it for years. It's like the yesterday's a mystery, or yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's a gift from God, so it's called the present. And it's like, okay, great, that's great, word stuff you did there. It's like, no, that's stupid, but okay.
You know what? Those people also deserve it.
The meme that cracks me up because it's making fun of people, and it's like the Minions, and it's like it says any mom over 45, and it says exercise. I thought you said extra fries, and it's like got a meme of a guy like, that's so fucking hilarious. What? Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think the number 11 was named after the person who made it, Mike?
I mean, it's
Joe 11.
obviously something like
What's
that.
his name? Edward 11.
Just it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. 11. I mean, come on.
Michael, how often would you say you think about this?
The past couple weeks, a lot.
When he's staring at some French fries, they look like some 11s.
Mike, how often do you get drug tested at work? I'm not accusing you of anything. I
haven't in a long time.
Okay.
I haven't had one in a while.
Go ahead.
So just a quick Google search. The word 11 originates from Old English endeleophin, which literally meant one left after counting to 10.
Nice.
In case you were wondering.
Yeah,
You seem very displeased.
Thanks, Uncle Google.
It sounds pretty dumb to me.
I think you should make a petition to change it to Onie One.
I think I want to get a T-shirt, a Wasted Wagons T-shirt with Onie One on it.
I mean,
Since we're talking about fun facts, that the months, like October is the 10th month, even though Oct usually means 8, because January and February used to not exist. So October, November, December, those all used to line up
I mean, think about it.
with the numbers like 8, 9, 10.
22, 33, 44.
Mike, we are in an age where we're changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So maybe you can make a petition to change it to Onie One. I heard you're pretty tight with the president.
I'm hoping. You know what? That's a great idea. I'm gonna call the White House.
And on that just non sequitur bullshit ass revelation of Onie One, wagons out.
Wagons
Wagons out.
out.